So you're thinking about opening up your own small business or martial arts school. And this is part 2 in our series talking about how to go about opening up your own small business in martial arts school. And for those of you who are thinking about, a lot of times they're like, well, you just run a martial arts school. The biggest mistake martial artists make in opening up a martial arts school is they forget the fact that it's a business. And you need to understand business if you hope to be successful. Otherwise, you'll be like so many other martial artists, and sometimes well-accomplished martial artists, who will simply fail and go out of business. And a lot of times it's because they didn't understand that they was running a business and not just a martial arts school. So a martial arts school is a business. So the purpose of these videos is I want to share with you what I have learned in my 8 years of running a small business and talk about some of the transitions over the series of what happened from my 33 years of being in the U.S. Navy and transitioning into running a small business. Now last week, and I'll include a link up here, I did a video and we focused on cost, estimating cost and your expenses. This week, we're going to talk about location, where you want to open up your school or small business. So even if you're not interested in martial arts, I think you can get some value out of the lessons that I've learned, because we're talking about running a small business and a lot of the principles are the same. So first, in location, what I want to talk about in location is understanding commercial realty and how that is so much different than residential realty. Some things are the same, but a lot is different. So in commercial realty, like residential realty, the number one thing is location. Location, location, location. They talk about that in residential realty. You know, the top 3 things in choosing a residential house to buy: location, location, location. Commercial realty, same concept. A lot of martial arts or small businesses make the mistake of picking a bad location. And what I mean by that is a lot of them will pick, say, an industrial area or a commercial warehouse area and open up a school there. Or they'll open up their small business in an off the beaten path location. And they do this, one, because lower rent, sometimes maybe for half the price of a high traffic area, you can rent and get more space in a industrial area. The problem with doing that is you're going to have to spend more on marketing to get people to find you, because people aren't going to just be walking by your business and be like, oh, I've been meaning to try Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Or if it's a restaurant, it's like, oh man, I didn't know, this, restaurant was back here. I'm going to try it. You're not going to get that foot traffic. So you're going to have to spend more on marketing to get people to come find you. And there was an old tale, they say, oh, you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. And years ago, Woolworth's shopping store actually built a better mousetrap. And because of marketing issues, it never did anything. And ultimately, Woolworths is out of business today. Although their mousetrap was superior to the old, wooden mousetrap with the slapping, like spring slapping when you put a slice cheese on it. I don't even know if I'm sure they still make them. But the new mousetrap didn't catch. So don't think that just because you've got a great product, the world is just going to find you, because they're not. You're either going to have to do a prime location where you get foot traffic, or you're going to spend more money on marketing through, whether it's media, social media, newspapers, advertisements, billboards, to get the world to come find you in your industrial district. So keep that in mind. One thing that's unique about commercial realty is you don't feel compelled to pay the price that they're asking. Like, it is absolutely negotiable. And like when I found this place in 2016, they asked for a particular price, and they do it weird. They ask for a price per square foot, and the place is 2,000 square feet, and maybe they ask for say $20 per square feet, and then they want me to do the math, and it's like, bro, just tell me what you want for the space. That's all I'm interested in, not the price per square feet. I want your space. What's the price? But it's like a game. Like, oh, figure out the math. It's like, okay, I'll give you $20. Well, no, you know how much square feet it is. Just tell me what you want for the space. I digress. So realize that that's going to be a factor. But what the price they ask doesn't mean that's the price you're going to pay. You can negotiate. Now, there's going to be factors in negotiation, like if the place you're going to that you're interested in is already occupied and all the spaces, say in the strip mall, are occupied, then they're probably not going to negotiate with you on price. The price is going to be the price. But if you find a place that's, say, unoccupied, and you can go to the city and see, well, how long has this space been vacant? And the space we rented had been vacant for 3 years. So I knew I was going to be able to negotiate with the owners. And I did. And so we negotiated a price, and I got the price down to where I was more comfortable. I negotiated with, months of free rent, because that's part of the negotiation. It's like, okay, I'll give you a 3-year contract, or I'll give you a 5-year contract, but maybe I want 3 months free rent, to start off. Because realize that when you start off, you're not making any income because you don't have any students. So 3 months free rent, 6 months free rent, depends. It's all part of the negotiation. So realize you can negotiate the price that you're going to pay for the space. And unfortunately, for my friend who is next door and he owns a nail salon, he's been here 10 years. I've been here 8 years. So he got here 2 years before me. And his space is the exact same as mine, 2,000 square feet. But we was having a conversation, I think it was a couple years ago. And somehow the price of what we're paying for rent came up. And in our conversation, he realized he was paying $1,000 more a month for rent than I was paying. I'm paying $3,300 a month for this 2,000 square foot place, and he was paying $4,300 a month for his 2,000 square foot place. The exact same space, but the difference was I negotiated the price, and he did not realize that the price was negotiable. And now he's moved his business. He's like, I'm out of this. He was so upset about it because he had been paying an extra $1,000, but he just didn't know it's negotiable. Second thing to consider is when they present you this contract proposal, there's certain things, and we'll talk about it in later videos, that you will just do yourself. And you'll save money by doing it yourself. There's other things that it's in your best interest to pay a professional to do. So when it came time to evaluate this 5-page, 10-page, whatever it was, real estate contract, it was in my best interest, I knew, to turn it over to a real estate attorney and have that person evaluate the contract to make sure there's nothing ridiculous in it, and that I'm not signing, something that I should not be signing. So my real estate attorney evaluated the contract to make sure that, hey, everything is up front. Because there's things about commercial realty, in residential realty, if you rent out a house from somebody and the AC unit breaks down, or the plumbing, or there's an electrical problem, whatever, the homeowner, the landlord, is going to have to come fix it in residential realty. In commercial realty, as part of the contract, the landlord is only responsible for the roof. Now, every contract is going to be different. But what that means is if there's a plumbing break in the wall and that water spills all over my mats and destroys them, that's on me. That's not on the landlord. And I'm going to have to fix that plumbing break. If there's an electrical problem, I'm going to have to fix it. If the AC unit goes out, and I'm in Texas, where in the summer it'll go 30, 40, 50 days over 100 degrees, I have to have AC. If the AC unit fails, I have to replace that AC unit.
Okay, I found this on the web for AC unit. Check it out.
Very important. And somehow Alexa is talking to me. But we'll continue. So keep in mind the AC unit, you're going to have to read this contract to see what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. And then look at the crime statistics for the area. Because if you're in a high crime area, it's going to affect your customers. So you don't want to be in a high crime area. So that's going to be part of the negotiation. And you can simply look up police stats to see because if your customers are training with you or coming to your business, and when they leave, their car's been broken into, and that's a frequent thing, that's going to affect your business because people aren't going to do that. Or if they're being mugged on the way out. Crime happens everywhere, but some places have more crime than others. And that's going to be a rental negotiation factor that I would use if I was going to take that space. And also a consideration as to whether I would consider taking that space. If the crime is too great, it's just not. I don't think it would be worth it for me, but your situation may be different. Also, look at the history of that space. Like this space, like when we went looking for spaces, we found a space in another city close to here, maybe about 5 miles from here. And it used to be a karate school. And, we had the realtor come show us, and it was like the perfect space for us. And nice, much bigger than this space. I think the rent was even going to be cheaper. And I was like, man, this is a deal. And then the realtor let drop a secret that he should not have let drop. And he said, yeah, we had to run the karate school out that was in here because they had a big kids program, and they'd had several child abuse allegations against the school. And I thought, oh, wow. And I knew right then, we're not moving into this location. Because anybody that's done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, when you tell somebody, hey, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, somebody's always like, oh, you do that karate chop stuff? You break boards? No, I don't break boards. I break bones. But the average person isn't going to know the difference between the karate school that had the child abuse allegations against it and the new Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school that's in the same location. They might think it's the same people, same art, same group. I didn't want that stigma on me. So I was like, oh no, we're not taking this place, no matter how nice of a place it would be. So knowing the business history is very important. And also look at things like, I see restaurants do it all the time. Like there's a spot here in town. It's off the beaten path. And there's been probably in the past 6 years, 5 different restaurants that have been located in this spot, and all 5 of them have gone under. And a new one just opened up. So they're on number 6. That should be a sign to you, hey, what's the problem that these businesses can't succeed here? And what am I going to be able to do as a business that's going to be different than what these other people did? Because if none of the restaurants are succeeding here, maybe this isn't a good place to have a restaurant. So that's something to take into consideration, what businesses have been there and why they're not there anymore. And the videos run longer than I planned on because I said it'd be 5 to 10 minutes. I think I'm almost at 14. So I apologize for that. Next video, we'll be talking about marketing. So tune in next week. If you got questions about business, any questions you have, please fire below, and that could be the future topic. And I don't know how many of these videos I'm going to do specifically on small business, martial arts business opening up, but I'll do as many videos as I got questions to answer. And as I said in the previous video, if towards the end or at some point people want to do a live stream, I'll do a live stream and just answer live questions, and maybe get my wife in because she does a lot with the business and knows things that I don't. So I'll try to be as helpful as I can, or maybe even get some other business owners to come in and talk if there's interest. All right, till next week, be safe, do great things. Ciao.